YouTube. So Netflix is on a roll, like it really is. And Prime too, well Prime, they got a movie called Trap right now. Really, really good. I spent $6 on it and it was worth it. It was such a good movie, you gotta see it. Don't want to spoil it, but it's kind of predictable. That's the only thing I didn't like about it, but very good concept, very good writing. But Netflix, that's Prime. So for Netflix is on a roll, like it really is. And what I love about Netflix is it shows perspectives from people. What I don't like about some of the docuseries is very one-sided, and I don't think that's right. That's the only downside about a lot of these docuseries. It's very one-sided. You don't hear from the other person. And I feel like whenever something is going down, you need to hear from all sides. Like, if someone's saying that they're being abused by their husband, for instance, I feel like the husband needs to come on and he needs to say his piece so you could compare notes and really see what's going on. So there's something called The Program, which is something that a lot of people could identify with if you've ever been to private school or boarding school. And it was so interesting because I'm like, I feel like I need to make a Netflix series on my old school that is still open today. I purposely failed classes so my father could take me out because it was very abusive. And I remember telling my coworker about it, and she's like, oh, it's shut down? I said, no, they're still open. And in fact, they moved from the trailer. Now they have their own building. But the scary part about it is the people I went to school with, they all thought it was a great school, and they was there way longer than me, like from kindergarten through 8th grade. And one girl I know, she was there kindergarten through 8th grade. Then she went to an all-girl Catholic school and they abused her there. And then her grandmother abused her, so she has like a lot of trauma. But basically they used to hit us with 2 rulers and wrap it with duct tape, and it was crazy. Me and my dad was just talking about it. He's like, Crystal, why you didn't tell me? I didn't tell him because I knew he was going to take me out to school. He couldn't stand them people. I couldn't stand them people. You know, so. But yeah, so. The one thing that they said that stood out to me, and I said, I feel like I could do my own Netflix series, is they said that the teachers were not, they did not have their degrees. And that's a lot of private schools. And yeah, we still learn and everything, but you have a lot of private schools that they lie to the parents. So I'll never forget when I was in high school, I had the principal's niece teaching us history, and she was 21 years old. And she actually left, like after, what was it? I want to say she left 11th grade, I feel like she left, or 12th grade. Because who did we have for history in 12th grade? Miss Graham was English. So yes, you have a lot of private institutions where teachers who are not licensed, no certification, and they are teaching kids and charging these people thousands of dollars. Like, I did the math, and I remember tuition in my high school was $5,000 a year, and it wasn't that many of us. It was like 200 or 300 of us, but 5,000 times 200 is $1 million for the year. And the teachers wasn't even getting paid nothing. Like, my social studies teacher in the 8th grade left to be a public school teacher. He was smart for that. He had his credentials. because he said he was leaving to be a high school teacher for the DOE, and he told me, he was like, Bethel was paying him $10,000 a year, and I'm like, you can't live off of that unless if you like, even back then, like, how are you gonna live off of $10,000 a year? The only way is like if you live in NYCHA or something like that. But even if you live in NYCHA, you're still going to need that second income or some type of tax money to hold you over something. Like, if that's insane. Like, I'll never forget when he said that, because it's like, I know he was telling the truth. He not making that up. So it's like, it's a mystery of these institutions make so much money. Like with the program on Netflix, they was charging $3,500 for 3 months, and even better. So one girl said she was there for 3 years. Her parents paid $50,000. That's a lot of money. Them people was rich, and then they didn't even get a high school diploma in that. They didn't have a high school diploma in the end. So it's like all that money for what? And they couldn't get into college or nothing. And also, they weren't even learning anything. And they need to do an investigation of a lot of these private schools, because a lot of the times now, like my elementary school, we learned a lot. We did. And they would prepare us for the state exam. And I remember a classmate, she failed and they left her behind, unfortunately. But like, when I got to my high school, it was mediocre. First of all, a lot of the kids there couldn't like read on level. They're very behind. So that affected everybody else that was on level. And then my junior high school, where they was hitting us, it was academically good. That's why they lasted this long, because it's academically good, but they were abusive. So they really need to look deeper into these private institutions, because a lot of them ain't shit. So watching the program, it was like, wow, this is what goes on. It was a boarding school and that was going on. And it was supposed to be for troubled youth, but they took it too far. But I think who's to blame is the parents, because the parents are the ones who enrolled them. And they say that they brainwash the parents, but I don't think that's really brainwashed. They agree with it. You know, roughing them up, tough love. Some parents agree with that. I'm pretty sure in my school that the parents knew. I'm sure that the parents knew, and it's like most of my classmates or whatever, they were Caribbean. The teachers were from the Caribbean, and we all know how they get down. Very abusive. Most of my friends were abused. Some people had to kneel on rice. Like, I feel like everybody's been through abuse, but with that particular culture, very strange. Like, very strange. Just, I'm gonna leave it at that. But a lot of the times, you know, even with the program, they agreed with it. So you have to blame the parents. You can't blame the, like, obviously they were troubled youth. That's what the staff was told. And so that's why they treat them like that. If you're being told that a youth is troubled, and one particular boy, he admitted that he was in gangs. So if you was in gangs, what kind of treatment do you expect? Like, they gonna like defend themselves as adults, but they gonna be on guard to be like, okay, this student, we can't be soft around this student. We're gonna have to rough him up because that's what he's used to. That's just human nature. So a lot of those people, they grown now. They're angry at their parents. They're angry at the staff, but it's like the staff is acting accordingly. You need to be mad at your parents because they're the ones that put you in the school, essentially, you know. So now it's different if the parents didn't know, but I'm pretty sure they knew because they had these rituals and they had to cross-dress, so they knew that some type of weirdness was going on, you know. So, but watch the program on Netflix. And there's another one called Tell Them That You Love Me. This one was bugged out because it's about a woman that worked with a special needs man who had cerebral palsy. And for those of you who work with special needs, cerebral palsy is like autism, but worse. So they bite their hand, they're in a diaper forever. Autism, people improve. There's hope, but cerebral palsy, it's kind of, it is what it is.
Everyone, please leave the train. Thank you for riding
The fact that
New York City train.
someone was able to teach him how to walk, that's a miracle. As a substitute, I've seen it all. And, you know, kids with cerebral palsy, they're in wheelchairs, they drool. It's sad. So for her to do that, you know, and then she's like referring to him as a man, his age, yes, but not his mind. And that's why the parents press charges. And this chick had a nerve to say it to their face, like, oh, we made love and we're in love. Incriminating herself. So she's like not right in the brain. And the documentary is so well put together because as she's talking, I can tell she reminds me of some people that I used to work with because she's very, what I call, an optimist. Like, there's nothing wrong with being optimistic, but when it comes to people with cerebral palsy, it is what it is. Like I said, he was in a diaper. He looks around like this. You know, he doesn't really know you're there. He knows you're there, but you kind of get the picture. He's disabled, right? He wears a diaper. He bites his hand. So my question to her is, what could be attractive to you with a man that's in a diaper? With a man that cannot talk? With a man who bites his hand? So that shows the mental illness, because you got people that are delusional. And the man said it, and I agree with him in the documentary. She is a victim of mythology, because you have people who work in that field that really are delusional, and they believe that these people, don't get me wrong, yes, they are human beings, but you have to accept the fact that they are different and they're just not normal, right? So the vocabulary words and the things she was saying before she revealed herself, you could tell something was wrong with her, because she was saying things like, he's just like everybody else, and the mother was being overprotective and she needs him. And then she had the gall to say it in their face. And the brother, now he's the older brother, he said that there was red flags, but they didn't pay no mind to it. They just thought she was expressing her opinion. And I wanted to tell my parents out there that even if your child's not special needs, if you have a teacher, particularly teachers, saying things that you know in your heart is weird, you gotta check that out. I remember my son was in daycare, and this was the CUNY daycare. I was going to Big Evans at the time in 2011, and this lady was just too friendly with my son was 2 years old. He was a baby at the time, and she was just too friendly. And then my classmate, she thought I was crazy. She seen it for herself. Like, you got people, she didn't do it in front of me, but just the things she would say, saying that my son is sexy. Mind you, my son is 2 years old. She's saying this. I did not feel comfortable at all. I eventually pulled him out, and I stopped going to Mega anyway. But as a mother, you have to pick up on that. As a mother, you have to pick up on that. I can't stress that. The mother, she didn't, and the brother, they didn't pick up on certain things. They just let it slide. But she was very rude to them, telling them, he's vegan. Like, bitch, you don't know my son. How you know, little things like that, passive aggressive behavior. Then she says to them, he's a man. treat him as such. What? He's a man. The fact that you would say, the fact that you're working with somebody with cerebral palsy, and in your crazy delinquent mind, whatever delusion you, for you to say he's a man, how is he a man and he wears a damn diaper? How? And he's biting his hand. What are you saying? And if it was me, I would have been like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean he's a man? Yes, he's a human. He's human. But for you to say he's a man, like, no, he's in his brain function, he is a baby. So this is why I'm his mother and I know what's best for him. Like, she didn't think much on it, you know, but you have to, because a lot of these people are, what I noticed, people that purposefully sign up to work. Like for me, I had no idea that my job was about working with special needs. I really did not know that. And the good thing is I have a choice to work in general ed or not, right? You have people who sign up to these jobs because they are demonic and they are bullies. So them having a job working with special needs, and they purposefully sign up for that so they could abuse these people. It's sick and it's true. But, you know, they should have, she only got 6 years and she should have got longer, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't the only victim. The brother said that they found like abrasions on his back and from her dragging him on the floor. Like she admitted and said she brought a mat to her office so they could make love in her office. This woman was sick. So like, again, the mother didn't think anything of it with certain comments. They would be in a car and she would have her gospel music on. This lady would turn off her radio, put on class. I would have slapped the shit out of her. I would have, because you're in my car, you're in my house. I would have went off on her, because that's what you call a person that's controlling. So her whole demeanor, and then the crazy part is she was married to a black man. So I wish they would have brought the husband on the docuseries to ask him, like, how was she as a wife? Like, was she controlling? Because a person who takes advantage of special needs is deeper than just, oh, they just want to get their freak on. The thing is, they are possible narcissists, OCD, and they want to be in control. So for her, just like a rapist, and they rape because they want to be in control, she wants to be in control. That's what it is. She wants to be in control, because at the end of the day, he has cerebral palsy, so it's not like he could reciprocate whatever they was doing, right? Just to have a visual, like, it's nasty, but she was in control of all of that. He can't really respond to it because he has cerebral palsy. Now the question is, was he able to, I don't want to say the word, but was he able to like it or enjoy it? Because she's saying from her experience that he has these feelings, which is possible, right? It's very possible. The question is a person with cerebral, are they able to consent to that activity? So for us, it's no, because he's in a diaper. But at the same time, they need to find another way of, I know, like, for the kids, they have like a tablet, but for the adults, they have to have another way to communicate, because it becomes an issue of consent, and that's why she went to jail. She's telling the world that this person is able to have the same feelings as her, be just like her. He's just in a diaper, and the rest of the world, we're looking at her like, you're crazy. But just what if she was right? Just putting it out there. So comment, like, and subscribe, and let's talk about it. Are people with special needs able to consent, right? Cerebral palsy in particular. Autism is a funny thing, because somebody could be autistic and you not even know it. Bill Gates is autistic, so he's very, what we call, high functioning. Bill will have you sitting in a meeting for 2 hours because he doesn't like people, right? So he's the type of person that if you want to discuss something via email. Remember I said in the previous video, that's the world we are getting into. That's the sign of autism, lack of communication. We don't know how to communicate with people. Asperger's, when somebody comes into a room and they don't acknowledge you, but they looking at everything in your house, that's a sign of Asperger's. How many people we know that do that? They come in and it's,
this stop is
look at your windows, look at your curtains. What are you using? That's Asperger's. That's not normal behavior. So, you know, that's the question of the day. Somebody who is special needs, right? At one point, are they able to consent? Because a lot of people are special needs. That's just the world we live in. A lot of people have OCD. Some people are autistic, Asperger's. What else? Narcissistic, depression, anxiety. The list goes on with special needs, right? But at what level do we say? At what point do we say this person can't consent? Whatever. Cerebral palsy, yes, because he's in a diaper, whatever. The mother said, oh, he masturbates and it's because of her. He's 30 years old. That's the part I don't agree with the mother, because they still have desires, right? That he's human. So you mean to tell me he never did that before her? Like, most boys start at 12, I believe. 12. Girls start a little bit earlier, depending on the person. But most people start around 9, 10, because that's when you start like noticing things, and you start noticing that people are developing at that age, 9, 10, 11, around there. Some girls, well, I didn't get my period till 12, but you know, so that's like the 18, 10, 11, when they start having those feelings, right? So he's 30. You mean to tell me he never had that arousal until the teacher? Nah, you know, that's the part I disagree with, you know. Yeah, so comment, like, and subscribe.